If you're a man over 60 and you've completely stopped self-pleasure, thinking it's somehow healthier or more appropriate at your age, you might be unknowingly setting yourself up for some serious problems down the road. And I'm not talking about just missing out on pleasure. I'm talking about real health consequences that most doctors won't discuss openly with you. See, there's this quiet belief among many older gentlemen that once you hit a certain age, you should just stop. Maybe it's because of outdated ideas about what's proper for seniors, or maybe it's because things don't work quite like they used to. But here's what most men don't realize. Completely stopping this natural activity after 60 can actually accelerate some of the very problems you're trying to avoid. I'm talking about circulation issues, prostate complications, hormonal imbalances, and even mental health challenges that can sneak up on you. Now, before you think I'm going to lecture you about what you should or shouldn't do in your private life, let me be clear. This isn't about judgment. This is about giving you information that can help you make the best decisions for your health and well-being. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to share what urologists and men's health specialists have discovered about this topic, including 3 natural approaches that can help you maintain optimal health regardless of where you are in your journey. So stick around. Your future self will thank you for this. Before we dive deeper, I'd love to know, which state are you watching from today? Type it in the comments below. I'm always amazed to see how men from Maine to California, from Texas to Washington, are all dealing with similar concerns. It reminds me that we're not alone in this journey of aging, gracefully and maintaining our health. Your participation helps build a community where we can support each other. So don't be shy. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me tell you about Robert, a 67-year-old retired engineer from Ohio. Robert reached out to me after watching one of my videos, and his story perfectly illustrates what we're talking about today. For most of his adult life, Robert had a healthy relationship with his body and sexuality. But about 5 years ago, after his wife passed away and he entered his golden years, he made a decision that seemed logical. He figured that chapter of his life was over, and he completely stopped any form of self-pleasure. In his mind, it was time to grow up and focus on other things. At first, Robert felt fine, maybe even proud of himself for what he saw as discipline and maturity. But gradually, over about 18 months, he started noticing changes. His morning erections, which had been reliable for decades, became increasingly rare. He felt less energetic, even though he was eating well and exercising regularly. His sleep became restless, and he found himself more irritable and moody than usual. The real wake-up call came during a routine visit to his urologist. The doctor noticed that Robert's prostate had become more enlarged than expected for his age, and his PSA levels were higher than they should be. When the urologist asked about Robert's sexual activity and habits, Robert reluctantly admitted he'd stopped everything completely. That's when his doctor explained something that shocked Robert, and it might shock you too. Complete sexual inactivity, especially after 60, can actually contribute to prostate problems, circulation issues, and hormonal imbalances. The doctor explained that the prostate is like any other part of the body. It needs regular, healthy activity to function properly. Robert was confused and embarrassed. No one had ever told him this before. In fact, he'd always assumed the opposite was true. His doctor referred him to a men's health specialist who helped him understand that maintaining some level of sexual activity, whether with a partner or solo, was actually important for his overall health. The specialist didn't just tell Robert to get back to it without guidance. Instead, he provided a comprehensive approach that included natural methods to restore healthy function, dietary changes to support circulation and hormone production, and lifestyle modifications that could help Robert feel like himself again. 6 months later, Robert sent me an update. His energy levels had improved dramatically. His sleep was better. his mood was more stable. And yes, his prostate health had improved as well. But perhaps most importantly, Robert felt like he had reclaimed an important part of his well-being that he thought he'd lost forever. Robert's story isn't unique. Many men over 60 make similar decisions based on outdated information or social expectations, not realizing that they might be inadvertently harming their health. The good news is that it's never too late to make positive changes. Now, let's talk about what's actually happening in your body when you completely stop sexual activity after 60. This isn't about pressuring anyone into anything they're not comfortable with. This is about understanding the science so you can make informed decisions. First, let's talk about your prostate. Think of your prostate like a small muscle that needs regular exercise. When it's active, whether through sexual activity or self-pleasure, it gets the blood flow and movement it needs to stay healthy. The prostate produces fluid that's part of your seminal fluid, and regular release helps flush out toxins and prevent blockages. When you completely stop this activity, several things happen. The prostate can become more congested, like how your muscles get stiff when you don't move them. This congestion can contribute to enlargement, inflammation, and even increase your risk of developing more serious prostate issues down the road. But it's not just about the prostate. Your entire circulatory system is involved in sexual function, and when you stop using it, you can develop what doctors call disuse atrophy. If you stopped walking for 6 months, your leg muscles would weaken. The same principle applies to the blood vessels and tissues involved in sexual function. When blood isn't regularly flowing to these areas, the small blood vessels can start to narrow and lose their flexibility. This is why many men who completely stop sexual activity find it much harder to regain function later, even if they want to. It's not that they're broken, it's that their circulatory system has adapted to not needing to perform that function. There's also the hormonal aspect that many men don't realize. Regular sexual activity, including self-pleasure, actually helps maintain healthy testosterone levels. When you're completely inactive sexually, your body can interpret this as a signal that it doesn't need to produce as much testosterone. Lower testosterone doesn't just affect sexual function, it impacts energy levels, mood, muscle mass, bone density, and even cognitive function. Sleep is another area that's affected. Many men don't realize that sexual release helps regulate sleep patterns and reduce stress hormones like cortisol. When you completely stop, you might find yourself more restless at night and more stressed during the day, even if you can't pinpoint why. And let's talk about mental health for a moment. There's a real psychological component here. Many men over 60 start to feel disconnected from their bodies and their sexuality. They begin to see themselves as past their prime or somehow less masculine. This can lead to depression, anxiety, and a general sense of loss that affects their overall quality of life. The truth is, sexuality and physical intimacy, even with yourself, are part of being human at any age. When we completely shut down this part of ourselves, we're not just affecting physical health, we're impacting our sense of vitality and connection to our own bodies. Now, I want to address something important here. Some men stop sexual activity because of physical challenges. Maybe erections aren't as reliable, or maybe there are medications that interfere with function. If that's you, please know that there are solutions, and you don't have to just accept these changes as inevitable. Others stop because of emotional reasons, perhaps the loss of a partner, or feelings of guilt or shame around sexuality at their age. These feelings are completely understandable and valid, but they don't have to be permanent. The key point I want you to understand is this. Your body was designed to maintain sexual function throughout your life. When we work against this design by completely shutting down, we can create problems that didn't need to exist. But the good news is that in most cases, these changes can be reversed with the right approach. Now that we understand what's happening, let's talk about 3 natural, safe approaches that can help you restore and maintain healthy function, regardless of where you're starting from. These aren't quick fixes or magic pills. They're proven strategies that work with your body's natural processes. The first approach focuses on restoring healthy blood flow throughout your body, with special attention to the areas that matter most for sexual health. Poor circulation is often the root cause of many issues men face after 60, and circulation can be improved at any age. Start with what I call targeted exercise. This isn't about becoming a gym champion. It's about specific movements that promote blood flow to your pelvic area. The best exercise for this is simple walking, but with a twist. Instead of just strolling, focus on walking at a pace where you're breathing a bit heavier, but can still hold a conversation. Do this for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. But here's the key. Add in what doctors call pelvic tilts during your walk. Every few minutes, consciously tighten your pelvic floor muscles, the same ones you'd use to stop urination midstream, for 5 seconds, then release. This combination of cardio exercise with pelvic floor engagement dramatically improves blood flow to all the right areas. The second part of circulation revival involves heat therapy. 3 times a week, take a warm bath for 15 to 20 minutes. The heat causes blood vessels to dilate, improving circulation throughout your body. Some men find it helpful to alternate between warm water and cooler air, which creates a pumping action in the blood vessels. Studies have shown that men who follow this circulation protocol for 8 weeks see significant improvements in erectile function, energy levels, and overall sexual health. My grandfather used to say, "Keep the river flowing, and the mill keeps working." He was talking about irrigation for his farm, but the same principle applies to your body. There's also a simple breathing technique that enhances circulation. Spend 5 minutes each morning doing deep belly breathing. 4 seconds in through your nose, hold for 4 seconds, then out through your mouth for 6 seconds. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and improves blood flow throughout your body. The second solution focuses on naturally supporting your hormone production, particularly testosterone. Many men over 60 have testosterone levels that are lower than optimal, but there are natural ways to encourage your body to produce more. Sleep is your most powerful hormone-boosting tool. Your body produces most of its testosterone during deep sleep, particularly between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. If you're not getting quality sleep during these hours, you're missing out on your body's natural hormone production cycle. Create what I call a testosterone-friendly sleep environment. This means a cool, dark room around 65 to 68 degrees, no screens for at least an hour before bed, and a consistent bedtime routine. Many men find that a warm shower followed by 10 minutes of gentle stretching helps them fall into deeper sleep. Nutrition plays a huge role in hormone production. Focus on foods that support testosterone production. Eggs, especially the yolks, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish like salmon and sardines, nuts, particularly Brazil nuts and walnuts, and leafy green vegetables. These foods provide the building blocks your body needs to produce hormones naturally. There's one supplement that's particularly effective for men over 60, vitamin D3. Most older men are deficient in vitamin D, and this vitamin actually functions more like a hormone in your body. Studies show that men with adequate vitamin D levels have significantly higher testosterone than those who are deficient. Aim for 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day, but get your levels tested first to know where you stand. Stress management is crucial for hormone balance. Chronic stress produces cortisol, which directly suppresses testosterone production. The most effective stress reduction technique I've seen for older men is what I call purposeful breathing. Spend 10 minutes each morning breathing deeply and slowly. 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, out for 6 seconds. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and reduces cortisol production. The third component of hormone harmony is strategic physical activity. While any exercise is better than none, certain types of exercise are particularly effective for boosting testosterone. Resistance training, even with light weights or resistance bands, signals your body to maintain muscle mass and produce more testosterone. Even 20 minutes, 3 times per week, can make a significant difference. The third solution is probably the most important, and it's about gradually reintroducing healthy sexual activity in a way that feels comfortable and sustainable. This isn't about performance or meeting any particular standard. It's about reconnecting with your body and maintaining healthy function. Start with what I call mindful body awareness. This simply means spending a few minutes each day paying attention to your body without any pressure for sexual response. Maybe it's during your morning shower or while doing gentle stretches. The goal is to reestablish a positive, comfortable relationship with your physical self. Many men over 60 have developed anxiety around sexual function, which creates a cycle where worry actually prevents the very thing they're worried about. Breaking this cycle starts with removing all pressure and expectations. Think of this phase as you're discovering rather than performing. The reactivation protocol involves gradually increasing stimulation over several weeks. Start with simple touch and massage, focusing on relaxation rather than arousal. Use this time to notice what feels good and what doesn't, without any goal other than comfort and connection with your body. As you become more comfortable, you can gradually increase intensity and duration. The key is to go slowly and listen to your body. Some days you might feel more responsive than others, and that's completely normal. The goal is consistency and patience, not performance. Many men find it helpful to use natural aids during this process. A high-quality, water-based lubricant can make the experience more comfortable and reduce any friction or irritation. Some men also benefit from topical creams that contain L-arginine, which helps improve blood flow to the area. The most important aspect of this protocol is understanding that it's about health maintenance, not just pleasure. Regular sexual activity, whether with a partner or solo, helps maintain circulation, hormone production, and overall sexual health. Think of it as an investment in your long-term well-being. This gradual approach works because it allows your body to slowly remember and rebuild the neural pathways and blood flow patterns that support healthy sexual function. Remember, if you've been inactive for months or years, your body needs time to readjust. Be patient with yourself and celebrate small improvements along the way. Now let me share some additional insights that can make a huge difference in your success with these approaches. These are the things that many men overlook, but they can be game changers. Most men don't realize that timing matters significantly when it comes to sexual health after 60. Your hormone levels naturally fluctuate throughout the day, with testosterone typically being highest in the morning. This is why many men notice that morning erections are often stronger and more reliable than those later in the day. Work with your body's natural rhythm rather than against it. If you're following the reactivation protocol, morning hours are often most conducive to success. This doesn't mean you can't be active at other times, but understanding your natural patterns can reduce frustration and increase confidence. There's also the timing of meals to consider. Sexual function requires good blood flow, and blood flow is impacted by what and when you eat. Heavy meals divert blood to your digestive system, which can interfere with circulation to other areas. If you're planning intimate time, avoid large meals for at least 2 hours beforehand. This might surprise you, but proper hydration is crucial for sexual health, and many men over 60 are chronically dehydrated without realizing it. As we age, our sense of thirst becomes less reliable, and medications can increase fluid loss. Dehydration affects blood volume and circulation, which directly impact sexual function. It also affects energy levels and mood. The simple solution is to drink water consistently throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. Here's a practical tip. Keep a water bottle visible and take 3 sips every time you see it. This creates a natural rhythm of hydration without having to remember to drink large amounts at specific times. Aim for pale yellow urine as your hydration indicator. If it's darker, you need more fluids. Your environment can significantly impact your body's response and comfort level. Many men over 60 are more sensitive to temperature than they were when younger, and being too hot or too cold can interfere with relaxation and circulation. The optimal temperature for sexual activity is slightly cooler than you might expect, around 68 to 70 degrees. This helps prevent overheating and maintains good circulation. If you tend to run warm, consider using a fan or adjusting your thermostat before intimate time. There's also the warm shower technique that many men find helpful. A warm shower before sexual activity can improve circulation and help you relax. The key is warm enough to be soothing, but not so hot that it leaves you feeling drained. The biggest mistake I see men make is thinking they need to go from 0 to 100 overnight. This creates pressure and often leads to disappointment and giving up. Sexual health after 60 is about consistency and gradual improvement, not dramatic overnight changes. Some men also make the mistake of comparing themselves to how they functioned at 30 or 40. Your body is different now, and that's not a failure. It's just reality. The goal is to optimize your current function, not to recreate your younger self. Start small and be patient. If you haven't been sexually active for months or years, your body needs time to readjust. Celebrate small improvements rather than focusing on what isn't working yet. Progress might be slower than you'd like, but consistency will pay off. Many men focus solely on the physical aspects and ignore the mental and emotional components of sexual health. Stress, anxiety, depression, and relationship issues can all impact sexual function just as much as physical factors. If you're dealing with grief, loneliness, or major life changes, these emotional factors need attention too. Sometimes talking to a counselor or therapist who specializes in men's issues can be just as important as addressing the physical aspects. Don't underestimate the power of mindset. If you approach sexual activity with anxiety or negative expectations, you're working against yourself. Practice relaxation techniques and try to approach this journey with curiosity rather than pressure. A huge mistake is not discussing sexual health with your doctor, especially if you're taking multiple medications. Many common medications for blood pressure, depression, allergies, and other conditions can impact sexual function. Don't assume these effects are permanent or unavoidable. Often, there are alternative medications or timing adjustments that can minimize side effects. Your doctor needs to know about these concerns to help you find solutions. Be honest with your healthcare provider about your goals and concerns. Many doctors are more knowledgeable about these issues than you might expect, and they've likely helped other men in similar situations. Here's something crucial that ties all these tips together. Sexual health after 60 isn't separate from your overall health. It's an integral part of it. The same lifestyle choices that support your heart, brain, and energy levels also support your sexual health. This means that taking care of your sexual health isn't selfish or purely about pleasure. It's about maintaining your overall vitality and quality of life. When you approach it from this perspective, it becomes easier to prioritize and stick with these healthy habits. The circulation exercises that help sexual function also benefit your heart and brain. The hormone-supporting nutrition benefits your muscles, bones, and mood. The stress reduction techniques improve your sleep and overall well-being. Remember, small, consistent changes create the biggest long-term results. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Pick 1 or 2 strategies that resonate with you and focus on those for a few weeks before adding more. Most importantly, be kind to yourself throughout this process. Your body has served you well for decades, and it deserves patience and care as you work to optimize its function. Before we wrap up today's discussion, I want to make sure you have everything you need to take action on what we've covered. Because here's the truth. Information without implementation doesn't change anything. First, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What was your biggest takeaway from today's conversation? Was it learning about the circulation connection, understanding the hormone aspect, or maybe realizing that you're not alone in dealing with these changes? Share your thoughts below. Not only does it help me understand what resonates with you, but your comment might be exactly what another man needs to hear today. I read every single comment, and I'm always inspired by the wisdom and support that this community shares with each other. Whether you're just starting to think about these issues, or you've been dealing with them for years, your perspective matters. And if you have questions about anything we discussed today, don't hesitate to ask. While I can't provide individual medical advice, I can often point you toward resources or clarify concepts that might be confusing. This community is built on men helping other men navigate these challenges with dignity and wisdom. Now, if you're ready to take the next step and want more detailed guidance, I've created something specifically for men in our age group who are serious about improving their health and vitality. It's called the 7-Day Circulation and Vitality Recovery Plan for men over 60. This isn't just a repeat of what we covered today. It's a comprehensive, day-by-day guide that walks you through exactly how to implement these strategies in your life. You'll get specific exercise routines designed for men over 60, meal plans that support hormone production naturally, sleep optimization techniques that work with your changing body, and a gradual reactivation protocol that's designed to be comfortable and sustainable. The plan also includes timing guides, so you know exactly when to do what, troubleshooting tips for common challenges that men face during this process, and answers to questions that men frequently have, but might feel uncomfortable asking. Everything is presented in the same, straightforward, judgment-free way we've been talking today. You can access this plan completely free. No credit card required, no hidden costs, no lengthy forms to fill out. Just click the link in the description below, enter your email, and I'll send it to you immediately. I created this resource because I believe every man deserves to feel vital and healthy, regardless of his age or current situation. The email series that comes with the plan also includes additional tips and insights that I don't share anywhere else, based on questions and feedback from thousands of men who've used these approaches successfully. You'll also get updates when new research comes out, or when I discover techniques that can enhance your results. Many men have told me that having this structured plan made all the difference between thinking about making changes and actually implementing them successfully. It takes the guesswork out of the process and gives you confidence that you're doing the right things in the right order. Speaking of questions and feedback, one topic that comes up repeatedly is about a specific nighttime habit that many men over 60 have developed without realizing how much it's impacting their health. I'm talking about something that seems completely harmless, even beneficial, but it's actually quietly undermining circulation, hormone production, and energy levels. In next week's video, I'm going to reveal what this habit is and show you simple alternatives that can dramatically improve how you feel and function. The research on this is fascinating, and the solution is easier than you might think. This is information that could change your sleep quality, morning energy, and overall vitality within just a few weeks. If you don't want to miss this important information, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the notification bell. This is the kind of content that YouTube doesn't always show to everyone, so subscribing ensures you'll see it when it comes out. I'll also be sharing a 2-minute technique that you can do before bed that can improve your sleep quality, hormone production, and morning energy levels significantly. This is something that most doctors don't know about, but the research is solid, and the results speak for themselves. Before we finish, I want to acknowledge something important. Talking about these topics isn't always easy. Many of us grew up in a time when men didn't discuss these issues openly, and it can feel uncomfortable or even embarrassing to acknowledge that we're dealing with changes in our bodies. But here's what I've learned from hearing from thousands of men over the years. When we stay silent about these challenges, we suffer alone unnecessarily. When we're willing to have honest conversations and share our experiences, we realize that we're part of a much larger community of men who are navigating similar changes. This channel isn't just about sharing information. It's about creating a space where men can learn, support each other, and approach aging with dignity and wisdom. Every comment you leave, every question you ask, and every experience you share contributes to that community. So whether you're someone who comments regularly or you've never left a comment before, know that your voice is welcome here. We're all in this journey together, and there's no shame in seeking information, support, or solutions for the challenges we face. As we come to the end of our time together today, I want to leave you with something my own doctor told me years ago when I was struggling with some of these same issues. He said, "Getting older doesn't mean giving up on feeling good in your body. It means learning how to work with your body as it changes." Those words stuck with me because they captured something important. Aging isn't about decline and surrender. It's about adaptation and wisdom. Yes, our bodies change as we get older. Yes, things that were effortless at 30 might require more attention and care at 60 or 70. But that doesn't mean we're broken, and it doesn't mean we should just accept poor health or diminished vitality as inevitable. What we've talked about today, the importance of circulation, hormone balance, and maintaining healthy sexual function. These aren't luxuries or vanity projects. They're fundamental aspects of staying healthy and feeling like yourself as you age. I think about men like Robert, whose story I shared earlier, and the thousands of other men who've reached out to share their experiences. What strikes me most is not their individual challenges, but their courage in seeking solutions and their willingness to make positive changes, regardless of their age. You see, there's this myth in our society that, after a certain age, we should just be grateful for what we have and not expect too much from our bodies. I completely disagree with that mindset. Why should we accept feeling tired, disconnected from our bodies, or less vital than we could be, just because we've reached a certain number of birthdays? The truth is, many of the changes that men experience after 60 are not inevitable results of aging. They're results of lifestyle factors that can be modified. When we address circulation, when we support our hormone production naturally, when we maintain healthy sexual function, we're not trying to turn back time. We're optimizing our current reality. Every day, I hear from men who thought their best years were behind them, only to discover that by making relatively simple changes, they could feel better than they had in years. These aren't miraculous transformations. They're the natural result of giving your body what it needs to function well. But perhaps most importantly, this isn't just about physical health. When you feel good in your body, when you have energy and vitality, it affects every area of your life. Your relationships improve. Your confidence increases. You approach challenges with more optimism and resilience. You're not too old for this. You're not past your prime. You're not broken or beyond help. You're a man with decades of experience and wisdom, and you deserve to feel strong, healthy, and vital for all the years ahead of you. Whether you're dealing with specific challenges right now, or you're simply thinking about how to stay healthy as you continue aging, remember that every positive change you make matters. Every walk you take, every good night's sleep you prioritize, every healthy meal you choose, it all adds up. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are millions of men navigating similar changes and challenges. Some are further along in finding solutions. Some are just beginning to address these issues. But we're all part of the same community of men who refuse to accept that aging means giving up on feeling good. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Thank you for being open to new information and willing to consider making positive changes. And thank you for being part of a community that believes in supporting each other through all of life's transitions. Take care of yourself, be patient with the process, and remember, your best years don't have to be behind you. With the right information and consistent action, they can be ahead of you. Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and keep taking care of yourself. You deserve nothing less.